Hello and thank you for joining me today. Well, this is the Friday, June the 18th edition of our video devotionals. I hope your Friday is going well. And yes, when we say Friday, as a rule, that's usually the end of a work week. So I hope you've had a great week. And I know you're getting excited about the Friday ending. And sometimes people go out to eat on Fridays or do things, or they get ready to go off on a little, maybe half a day or daily vacation. We'll call it, just going somewhere. And at any rate, you've got your Friday, you've got your Saturday, and of course Sunday. We hope you can be in church and experience the Lord's presence and His blessing there. And then of course this Friday is Father's Day. So we want to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers and all father figures, whether or not you have children or not. There's people out there that are fatherly to other people's children and to their nieces, nephews, cousins, that sort of thing. So all that to say Happy Father's Day, and we know that'll be a blessed day for the fathers. Well, today we're not really going to do a Father's Day theme. We're just going to continue and end with the theme we've done this week with colors. So today we're going to be in Revelation 21:11. We're going to kind of jump into it because I want to give you a little story that just comes to mind. It's not even really related, but somewhat, I guess. But let me go ahead and read the verse here, and then we'll jump into this. We'll read verse 10 to give you the context. It says, "And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God." And notice verse 11. "Having the glory of God, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal." Now, as I looked at that, my initial thought was the jasper stone, because I may have looked this up before, but I was thinking, okay, is a jasper like a piece of glass that you look through like your windshield or in your home, where it's basically colorless and you can see all the way through it, clear, in other words? And of course, I looked it up and it said that jasper stones can be in a variety of colors: purple, blue, green, red, even a brass looking color. And in one place I was looking, it certainly could be whitish or even clear. So I'm unsure as to what is being said here in terms of, could this be like, let's just say, emerald green? They believe that the stone that was one of the stones that was in the high priest, that ephod there, that breastplate, that it was an emerald green. At any rate, whatever the color is, if it's clear or not, the Bible says that it is crystal clear. In other words, it's very pure, the color. In other words, you could probably see through it even if the color is green, red, or whatever. But regardless, it's speaking about the clearness. Now, let me give you a little story here that it just comes to mind. It's not even related, but I wanted to tell you this and maybe somehow connect it. When I was a boy, before I started school, I don't believe I went to kindergarten. I don't think I had kindergarten that I attended. So my first grade would have been first grade. And the first school I attended was not a public school. It was actually a private school. I don't even think it was what we would call Christian school, even though I think the people there kind of run it that way, but I don't specifically know that it was a Christian school. All that to say, it was first grade, hadn't started yet. And I remember it was here in High Point somewhere. The building to me reminded me of a church building, although I don't remember seeing a signs where it gave it a specific name. It could have been a former church building, and it was being used as a school, a small school. And so the point I'm trying to make here is it was a small school. I remember the principal's name. Her name was Jean Davidson, and I think she also taught first grade. As a matter of fact, she gave me my first spanking. She pulled my wrist back and she took a ruler and she hit me right there on the wrist for being naughty for something. Now, before I got to that school, one of the things they wanted to do, I think they wanted to check my reasoning ability. They wanted to see where I was at in terms of being able to think, okay? So school had not started, and I remember my mother took me to the building, and I don't think there was anybody around except maybe, it seemed like it was like an appointment. And there was a man there, and I don't know who he was. It may have been the principal's husband. I don't know, but I just remember there was a man. And my mother, they had this conversation. I was with her. And then I think she went somewhere else and waited somewhere. And he said, "I want you to come with me." And he was basically there to ask me some questions. I don't remember all the questions, but I do remember this one thing he did ask. We were sitting at a small desk, and it had a glass of water there. And he said to me, he says, "What color is the water in the glass. And I looked at it, of course, and in my mind I'm going, well, I know it's not a color because it's just not a color. At 5, the wheels are turning here. And he's looking at me, and it's almost like a trick question in a way because water really doesn't have a color. So I'm looking at it, and I said, well, it's kind of whitish, but not really. In other words, I knew what white was, but it wasn't white. That's the closest thing I could relate to this clear water. And he kind of, I think, laughed a little bit and said, "Yeah, I know it's really not a color, is it?" But he wanted to see if I could try to get as close as I could and how I thought about that. Now, water, of course, we know is clear. The water, the glass it was in was clear. It's colorless, we would say, unless you just want to say that perhaps clear is a color, but not really, I suppose. Like I said, when the Bible described the light, now this is what's interesting about this illustration here, about this account here in the Bible. It was talking about the light of the city, the New Jerusalem. It was saying the light was like this jasper stone, clear as crystal. And something that helps us understand the brilliance and perhaps the clearness or even the quality of that light was it said that the city having the glory of God. Now think about that. Think about the light that we see. The sun shines and there's the light. Think about even when you go into a room, there's lights above me here. And, some lights have a yellowish tint, and they make lights even more. They have more of a, seem like a clearness, and some even have kind of a blueness to them. But the point is that, here's John looking at the holy city. And it's the glory of God that's giving the light anyway. And it's describing the light itself as being like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. Now, I'm saying that because the clearness, the quality of that light, perhaps it's unlike any light we've ever seen. Think about the glory of the Lord. Think about that. Think about when Moses went up to the mountain and he spent those 40 days with God, and he came down. And the Bible says he literally was glowing because he'd been in the presence of God, had to put a veil over him. So all that to say, isn't it wonderful to know that we have a God and all the colors that he has created? We've talked about a few of them. If you just go outside, look at nature right up and down the highways, especially out in the country, look at the colors. As I was coming in this morning to church, in the median, the highway folks, the state has planted these lilies. And I didn't really notice it before, but there's what I guess they call a daylily, and it has more of a yellowish look to it. And then there are these orange ones kind of in the middle. And the contrast even between the orange and the yellow, just beautiful. And God created those. Man didn't come up with that. That's God's creation in all the colors. But isn't it an amazing thing? It speaks about the light of the New Jerusalem, clear as crystal. Now, clear may not be a color, but clear certainly is a quality of any color. If you can see something that's just pure and you can see through it, it may even have a color or not. But I'm so glad we have a God that even the clear crystal light of the city is just got an attraction to it that only God could do. So thank God we know that God. Thank God one day we're going to see that New Jerusalem. We're going to see it. And it's like the old song, there's a land that is fairer than day, and by faith we can see it afar. So when the Bible gives us descriptions like this, sometimes hard to imagine, and yet at the same time, think about the clearest thing you've ever seen, and then think about the light of that city. It's clear as a jasper stone, clear as crystal. So I hope you have a great day. Fathers, have a great Father's Day. We'll see you on Monday. We'll begin a new theme. I hope you have a great day.